our mortals. And now you see the very beautiful footage from Cologne or Köln in German and in Russian. I arrived to this beautiful city just yesterday. In this vlog, I told plenty of times that I definitely need to make research about Cologne, and while working on this vlog, I actually decided to do it to add an education aspect. So it's already September and it's very rainy, but I don't mind about such kind of weather, because it makes my trip in Cologne even more atmospheric. It won't be a deep dive into the history of Cologne, but a way to provide you the context on the city and some of its landmarks. All source references will be in the description. I really like traveling within Germany and visiting different German cities and discovering more, just because it's so interesting that every German city is unique. Yeah, just especially considering Berlin, it's the whole mishmash of different styles, and also during the World War II, well, partially because during the World War II Berlin was very bombed, and the thing is that when after the war the people decided not to reconstruct it the way it was before, but they decided to make it in a completely new way, and they built a lot of Soviet buildings. But here the thing is that Berlin is on the east of Germany and Cologne is on the west, so the contrast is very visible. I spent in Cologne only a week, so obviously I could not explore its every corner, but I still succeeded to squeeze maximum out of my trip. During my trip here, I didn't notice any, no, I noticed only one or two Soviet buildings. Everywhere else, it's not Soviet. Very beautiful. I like this city, it looks beautiful. The city of Cologne is ancient and it takes its roots into the Roman Empire. Before the Roman influence, ancient Celtic tribes had their settlements on the territory of Cologne. It reminded me a lot of Paris. I think that my first impression of Cologne is it's Germany with a huge influence of France. There are lots of buildings and plenty of signs in French that I noticed there. So that's how I would describe it. Germany with a influence of France. The city's history begins more than 2000 years ago, when it started as a small military village which was called Apidum Ubiorum. Some decades later, there, in the family of the Roman general Germanicus, a daughter named Agrippina was born. Agrippina is considered the mother of Cologne because it was her who achieved her hometown to become an imperial colony. There are lots of churches and cathedrals and castles that look exactly like in Paris. For example, like these Gothic buildings that are light brown on the walls, yeah, and they're dark blue on the rooftops. Like the one that you see here, this cathedral far away. There are lots of buildings like that. And I like it. It's really awesome. When the town became a Roman colony, the new name of the town was Colonia Claudia Ara Agrippinensium, or shortly Colonia Agrippinensis. When the town became more influential, it was perceived as the northern Rome. My first impression of Cologne is very positive. In the Middle Ages, the town became an important political and trading spot, and in that period, its name was simplified as Colonia. But in the local slang, people just call it Cologne. Right now, at this moment, it rains. Not terribly, but it rains enough to make this filming more challenging. But it's okay. I have something to cover up with. Well, I mean, to cover the camera up with. So I cover the camera, but still it's kind of challenging. I hope the rain will be over soon. I'm just super excited. And now I'm going to the Cologne Cathedral. I've seen it so many times on the internet, and it is my dream. It was my dream for a long time, since I immigrated to Germany. So I wanted to visit Cologne and to visit the cathedral because it looks so fantastic. It looks amazing. So this is where I'm going right now. Cologne Cathedral looks epic, but not less epic is its history. It is the third tallest cathedral in the world, the building of which started in 1248. The main reason was arrival of relics of the Catholic saints from Milan. Those relics needed an appropriate place to be buried at. It was decided to demolish the church that stood on the place of the future cathedral and build something much greater. That's when the first brick of the Cologne Cathedral was established. I doubt that the camera will truly show how stunning it is in real life. I look at the entrance. I actually want to visit it. I want to see what's in there. It was also decided to make the cathedral in the French Gothic style. The building process was extremely complicated. Nowadays, it would be called production hell, because it took 632 years to finish. The main obstacles were the budget deficit and the plague epidemic. In the middle of the 14th century, the construction process stopped for 300 years. It's so cool. It's like it's otherworldly. It's like it's not. It looks like in real life. I mean, maybe on the video, maybe the video does not depict it the same way, but it's so otherworldly in real life. It's so fantastic, like from H.P. Lovecraft's books, something like that. Just take a look. My dream came true. I finally saw this cathedral in real life. It looks like from another planet. Only in 1842 the building process continued. Luckily, in that period, the original blueprints of the cathedral were found in Darmstadt and Paris.
The building process was very challenging and expensive because, if converting to the modern currency, around 1 billion euros needed to build only the towers of the cathedral. Finally, in 1880, the Cologne Cathedral was finished and open.
Это глыба. Это просто огромная глыба. And if Russian people are watching me who understood this phrase, one thing that what I tried to say is that the only thought that I have while looking at this, it's so great. Just to let you know what I said this is the rock. Well, yeah, I know in English it sounds really silly, but глыба, well, the rock, it means like really, really huge rock. And often when Russian people, when they describe something or someone with that word, they don't mean something primitive or inferior, but actually opposite. They mean something monumental, something or someone. Like that person is глыба, like something monumental, something historical, epic, something gigantic. It's I think the right word would be, it's not literal translation, but I think the right synonym for the word глыба in this context would be monolith or like a monument. Now I'm looking at the small screen of my GoPro, and I really have no idea how it will look on the big screen of the computer or a TV. This cathedral, the way it looks in real life, this building takes the first place in the top of my favorite places. It's so otherworldly.
In World War II, during bombing of Cologne by the British Air Forces, around 70 bombs fell on the cathedral. Fortunately, the cathedral's unique structure saved it from being completely demolished. After the war, the Cologne Cathedral was restored only in 1956. In the same year, in the cathedral happened the first post-war religious service. Since then, Cologne Cathedral is visited by more than 6 million people each year.
I think the word beautiful is not enough to describe this cathedral. And I think it's not just what I think, it's an objective fact that it's not enough to visit it one time. There are places that you cannot just come there like some kind of amateur tourist. Just one time, just, you know, for tick in your list of visited places. No. This is the place to visit many times, at least 3 times. And to be able to look at every single detail. So epic. I visited this cathedral. Unfortunately, I did not make any footage from there, simply because well, just I was allowed to take photos but not the videos, so that's why I just took one photo. You can see photos from my trip. You can see it on my Instagram. The link to my Instagram page will be in the description under this video. I think it would be nice to go somewhere else besides this Cologne Cathedral. so great. So great. It's still raining on the street. It rains non-stop the whole day. Rains and it rains. I thought it's still gonna be sunny weather during first days of autumn, but unfortunately I was wrong. As you see on the territory of this cathedral, there are also some other interesting places. The rain is almost over. I think mostly it's dripping under the tree, where I stopped for a moment just to relax and to take a rest. Köln has really great impression on me. I'm happy that I decided to visit this really beautiful and very atmospheric city. It really feels very French. So cool, and now I'm standing here in this awesome area, in this quiet place. I think behind me here is the footage related to the ancient Rome. Now I will show you a little bit closer this place, because these reliefs, they deserve special attention in this video. They look very antique. I will not be surprised if it was left literally in the Roman Empire during the antique times.
I actually found information about this fountain. It is not an ancient building. The fountain was built in 1915 as a memorial to Cologne's Roman past by the German architect and sculptor Franz Bransky. It depicted the portraits of the Roman emperors, scenes from the life of Roman people, and a copy of the Capitoline wolf. The fountain was heavily damaged during World War II, and it took around 10 years to restore it. Unfortunately, the fountain lost most of its reliefs, and only the sculpture of the wolf was fully restored.
Augustus Agrippa. Agrippi. I don't know who this is, but I know Augustus. Claudius. So these are the names of the Roman emperors. I cannot read this one. This one is I cannot read this one. It's unreadable already, unfortunately. This one I don't know as well. Antoni. So basically these are the names of different Roman emperors, as I understand. Constantine. Theodosius. Yeah. One interesting thing, well, maybe I didn't see much of Cologne, but and also I know that this is the Western Germany, that after the World War II it was controlled by USA. I'm not sure, to be honest, if Cologne was controlled by USA, because different allied countries controlled Germany when it was split. I'm sure that Cologne was controlled by USA, it's West Germany. It's very possible, but anyway, it was not controlled by the USSR, like the eastern part of Berlin. And on the east of Berlin there are lots of Soviet buildings, unfortunately. Well, they look nice, They look nice, they look clean, not like in Russia where I was born. Sure, yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of the Soviet buildings. When they're clean, they're fine, but I like more just the architecture of the Western Europe. And there is a lot of it here. There is a lot of beautiful architecture in Cologne. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there are some Soviet buildings, because when I entered Cologne from the airport, when I took taxi, I've seen two or three Soviet buildings. But besides that, now in the city, I haven't seen any Soviet buildings. This city, it's very new to me. I'm being very adventurous here. I really like it. Anyway, this place is very quiet. It's very peaceful. And the Cologne Cathedral is just there. On the camera it looks as if it's very far, but in reality it's within the walking distance. Oh, Russian car. I think it's Russian. It looks like a Russian Lada. I think it's Ford. The logo looks like Ford. Yeah, it's Ford. But it looks like one of the classic Russian Ladas, which is called 9. Well, the model 9. I don't know how it's called in English, but in Russian that car model is called 9. It already gets dark today, and I feel really excited about this trip, including the trip to the Cologne Cathedral. But the streets of Cologne, they also look nice. Yeah, they're also worth mentioning. Looks cool. It's very different from Berlin or any other German cities that I've seen. Every German city where I've been is unique. Take a look at this. If you enjoyed this video, press like, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel to help it grow. If you want to support my YouTube channel, you can buy my music on Bandcamp. The link to my Bandcamp page in the description below. Farewell, stay out of hell.